In 1974, a very zany, eccentric band emerged from Belgium with a very colorful, made-up look and a jumpy, jazzy sound on the album Hora Nata. I am talking about the band Banzai. And from that album, the opening track, You Always Like an Entree. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Such a jumpy, zany sound, like very much evocative of like the fellow Belgians, Pazop, or the French act The Moving Gelatine Plates. Okay, what do we have here? We have some woodwind and a bit of piano and organ and that. Yeah, I like that. I like that trade-off between those two. That the woodwind, no, and the piano, dun dun. And then we're kind of like in C minor here. Yeah, kind of like a monochordal groove with that organ. The German act Brainstorm is another one that comes to mind. Or, of course, the Dutch band Supersister. But as we all know, they all are very much inspired by one band out of Canterbury, England, Soft Machine. And now we're going into kind of like a music hall type strut. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, 4/4. Now I'm hearing a bit more of an American influence. Yeah, a bit of a kind of like a funky. Hear that persistent, like, I think a tambourine. Oh, hear that bass going really high. Yeah, really high fret right there, interacting with the guitar. Yeah, now we're emphasizing really high tonality on this landing chord. Great run. I love how this is contrasted between that kind of like jumpy, jazzy section of like the first minute or so and into this kind of more poppy section, melodic. Oh, hear that crisp bass line right there? Almost sounded like a Rickenbacker bass. I also like how we've gone from being mostly a rhythmic piece in 3/4 to being kind of a more hummable piece in 4/4. That changed the contrast. And definitely that guitar bit was quite hummable. That down, 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 down. Okay, that was Banzai with You Always Like an Entree, the opening track of their 1974 singular album Hora Nata. Let's hear another track from the album. Let's hear the opener to side B, Hattrick. Okay, right away we're just coming in, just leaping, darting, that sound. Down. I love it. It's like a slide on the guitar on one note, down like that, down like. Okay, we are hearing some very strident guitar work there from, well, we've got Evert Verhees on, okay, he plays mostly bass, on as well as acoustic guitar, but on acoustic and electric guitar we got John McCoe, and what else, and it seems that both these guys, okay, the guitarist, his sole credits are on this album. I guess more on the bassist guy in a bit. Yeah, and I love that kind of cascading organ. It's just like, you know, like kind of an icy, slick sound all the way through. Yeah, kind of it reminds me somewhat of like the sound heard on like that Andromeda record from Germany. Oh, once again, another crisp bass line going on, just fluid running through. Good ensemble section right here, them all coming together over this pattern. And the drumming is a lot more noticeable this time, really putting some fills in. And now we got some like cocktail guitar going on, that tone, kind of clean. Basically, the same chord, just dropping a note, dropping like the third. Yeah, I think it like rising, falling third. Modulating. I'm so lost in this music and the overall density of it all that I keep forgetting like to count the meter. Some open cadences and some sustained guitar lead. That was a great contrast between some of the jumpier earlier sections. Hear that bell? Okay, this track is divided into 3 parts, and I think we've just switched. What we just heard was My First Hot Pants. Now we are in part 2, Kick and Rush. The bassist here was in a lot of Belgian pop over the next few decades. Yeah, most of it stuff that hasn't really registered much on the international scene, admittedly. Let's see. In the late '80s, he backed Joe Lamar, that singer who was in Joe Lamar and Flu's Belgian new wave band, put out like an album or two circa 1980. that kind of brimming keyboard, that somewhat frosty, kind of luminous keyboard, like behind, just holding those sustain notes behind the kind of like lyrical lead guitar solos. Say the tunnel kick and rush doesn't really that would have been more befitting to the prior section. Okay, and who did we hear on keyboards there? Well, let's see. Peter Torfs, who plays organ, piano, electric piano, synthesizer, string ensemble, and moog. And on parts of the album does vocals. And wow, talented guy, but this is his only credit, as aside from an appearance on a 1981 album by one Rubeck. I'm having a hard time counting this because I'm having a hard time finding the... I guess what's throwing me is that not only... It's not so much that I'm having a hard time finding where the bar starts. Just how do I count it? Do I follow that da-da-da-da-da-da-da? What tempo, what cadence do I follow? It's... Because there's like one instrument playing fast and there's another playing slow, and... It's like no. I guess it's in 7/8. No. And there's another instrument that's maybe playing it twice that speed. That's maybe doing like getting like 14 in or something. Actually, I think I hear one instrument kind of doing threes, maybe doing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 1 1. I'm a bit lost. Leave a comment if you know what that was in. Okay, now we've entered the third section. The final was the third game. Oh, and I like the organ once again. Yeah, so it's sounding a bit older, than, like a bit more classic than kind of like harkening back to kind of like a skating rink type organ sound. Maybe I should say a parlor organ. Okay, now we've got some strings entering the mix. Yeah, and who else are we hearing? Let's see. Violins, Conductor, Speguel, not a member of the band, I take it. Congas, Metallophone, Marimba. Metallophone's a word I don't see very often. Yeah, that's a little miniature vibraphone. Marimba, Vibraphone, Percussion, Ludwig, Kemat. And this is his only credit. Wow, travesty. And drums, percussion, and design concept, Erry Fox. And yeah, this is his, I guess, I guess our guy, the bassist, Evert, Verhees, is the one guy to have really gone on to other things from this band, sadly. Now we've got some wah-wah guitar going into a heavier section. I'm wondering if we're going to get to hear F. Mays plays tenor saxophone. That he's the one thing that gives this album a connection to a similar album, Shampoo's Volume 1, which came out 2 years earlier. He was on both. Now we're just basically grooving in G. It's been quite a diverse piece. When you think of all the like different influences and different kind of like idioms we've crossed through in the span of just 5.5 minutes so far. Wailing and crying. I mean, you could either follow the guitar or you could just kind of like get lost in that rhythm, that very kind of like cello dominated rhythm, like rhythmic component. No, 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 no. I guess the strings are actually quite muted, but you can kind of feel them. I actually, that's why I include them in the rhythmic component, because I think they're kind of more felt than heard, but that striking kind of quality. That's a welcome change, a bit of a like exception moment. I hope this didn't get too loud. I turned up my volume for this because I thought the beginning of it was a little bit quiet in places. Oh, that organist, he's really stretching out here, kind of like Eden Rose, Trace type section. Here I'm just like scaling up, going like all the way up, you know, and then to the high keys, and then going all the way down. Yeah, it's amazing that how much room people can move around. In how many things like one instrumentalist can do just in a single key. Okay, now it seems like we're coming together for something, a grand finale. Probably not a grand finale, because I think there might be some relationship between this and the sides are kind of listed as like B1A, B1B, B1C, and those are the three numbers for letters for the track numbers for Hattrick, but then yeah, it's kind of, I think there's supposed to be some kind of relationship between all the tracks. I was waiting for this. That was quite abrupt. Well, it was both like a grand finale, and then just it just like ended like that with a fade out. Yeah, that was Banzai with Hattrick, and before that, You Always Like an Entree, the two side openers from their 1974 singular album Hora Nata, released on Delta Records. Yes, Banzai, one of many colorful bands to emerge at a time when the music was scene was just brimming with color, creativity, and just everyone trying to put on the works on every level. It's like these guys got all done up, you know, with makeup and hair and everything, widow's peaks drawn on, kind of like well, somewhat visually, somewhat similar to Skyhooks. I'm not going to say Split Ends because Split Ends kind of broke new ground visually, and kind of were a real breakaway in some ways from the post '60s aesthetic. I would say I'm also seeing somewhat of a similarity between the looks that Peter Gabriel was doing, like around like the Foxtrot Sewing England by the Pound tours. Yeah, it's like one guy seems to have like an extended, or maybe he just might be balding, but he's like drawn on a widow's peak. And one guy in the foreground has his hair kind of done up almost, kind of like he's ready for. It kind of like foreshadows Split Ends by about a year. Yeah. And yeah, one's wearing all red, one's wearing all green, one's wearing like purple. Yeah, all these kind of Baroque looking outfits. All with this like gold border, like frame. Yeah, and some great inner sleeve artwork too. Yeah, a time when bands just were putting on the works visually, in terms of stage performance, in terms of lighting, in terms of musicianship, in terms of composition, in terms of concept. Yeah, just anyway. Yeah, that's maximalism. Yeah, just maximizing artistry on all fronts. For more rubies and sapphires from the Banzai album, see the directory of albums by Belgian artists linked in the description below. Like and subscribe, share this video, follow me on social media, and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the two tracks we just heard, the instrumentation, the layers, the intricacy, the time signatures, yes, importantly, what solos stood out to you, which sections, you found most compelling. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled trimaximalist, signing off.